Hey Pisces, happy May. I hope you guys had a really good April. Today we're going to go into your May 2018 forecast. I also now offer extended readings. You can access it in the description box below. There'll be a link that will take you to a Vimeo page, and in that extended reading we'll go into a lot more depth and clarity about what we talk about here in this video. Also in the description box you will find a timestamp next to the word summary, and basically if you would rather just go to the very end of this video and get the highlights of what we talked about today, you can go ahead and click on that timestamp. It will take you there and you can just get the highlights and then be on your way. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the May 2018 forecast. So for May of 2018, I see it being a pretty good month for you guys. I feel like you guys are feeling good, and starting from the beginning of the month, you guys are going to start to fall back. But when I say fall back, it's not a bad thing. It's not like you guys are regressing or reverting like some of the other signs that I've been reading for this month. It's really just you guys settling into who you really are and becoming a lot more stable with who you guys really are. I think you guys have been feeling really good, and now you guys are falling into that very solid foundation, really, again, of just who you are and really being in tune with yourselves and your core. That's going to happen at the very beginning of the month. So the first week, or maybe the first half of the first week, where you guys are feeling good, and then you guys are starting to settle down. And I think the rest of the month, it's really going to be you guys getting comfortable with where you've settled and figuring out. So you guys are settling into who you are, and so I think the rest of the month is going to be about you guys figuring out who that is. Like, you're settling into who you are, but who is that person? What are you like? What do you like? How do you go about things? And so I think that could be a little bit, that could feel like a little bit of a struggle throughout the month, just because it's a little bit confusing. It's like, well, who am I? And you're settling in, so you're not settled yet. You're still settling in, and that can just take a little bit of time and just opens up some questions and can feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's like you're not settled. But I don't think that you guys should look at it in a bad light, because you guys have done the work, and so it's like the final pieces kind of moving into place. And so that's where the questions are coming from. It's not like these huge questions that you need to resolve. It's really just small little questions as you kind of fall into place. I think another reason for these questions that are coming up and you guys settling into who you are, I think a lot of that stems from your April. I think you guys had a really good April. I think you had some opportunities that came up that you were pursuing, getting involved in, and that was exciting. But once you have these opportunities in hand and the excitement starts to, the excitement doesn't die down, but like as you become more comfortable with the opportunity and it becomes more normal, I guess it's still exciting but more normal, you guys now have to figure out like how it's going to work and where you fit within it and who you are. And because sometimes opportunities can be really fun, but they also like opportunities can be an opportunity for growth. They usually are, actually. Opportunities are usually opportunities for growth. And so that's not just in a business sense, it can also be on an internal sense. And that's what I'm feeling for you guys. You guys had an opportunity that manifested in the physical, but then that also caused you guys to have to grow internally as well and figure out who you are now that this opportunity is here, and who you are in relation to the opportunity and the people that you're working with and just everything that kind of surrounds your excitement and your direction. So I think actually that this may end up bringing you guys some feelings of worry and that's because when you are in this, it's not a bad place, but it's like I was saying, it's a little bit uncomfortable. You guys are feeling a lot more settled, but just like really like letting the pieces fall into place can be very uncomfortable. And when you guys are feeling uncomfortable like that, it can be really easy to worry or fear that you guys are going to end up going back to square one, where you have to start all over and really figure out who you are. It's like these little uncomfortable moments of having to figure out who you are in relation to your opportunity and where you are right now. Like for some reason you guys are worried that it's going to take you all the way back to square one, where you have to scrap everything and figure out, like, if it's on a business sense, you have to figure out like who is my customer and who is my audience, like where can I find them, what do they really need. If it's internal, it's along the same wavelength of like who am I and like what do I need and what do I want and what do I want to offer the world. And you guys don't have to go that far, but I think that as you guys start to feel uncomfortable about where you are right now because you're still settling in, you guys will worry that you're going to end up going back to square one where you have to start over with all of those questions and basically pave a whole new path. And we'll go into this more in the extended about like how you guys can handle that feeling so that, you know, it really doesn't affect the rest of your month. But yeah, that can be a scary thought. And it can be scary because when you don't know, when you have to start from square one and figure out who you are, where you're going, who your audience is, if it's business related, what they want, what their pain points are, what your pain points are, just what you want, when you have to go back to square one, it's a little scary because that's a place of complete uncertainty, and uncertainty is something that can cause stagnation. And you guys remember being stuck in that place and how difficult it was to figure out the answers to all of those questions so that you could actually start moving forward and get out of that place that you were in. And so I can understand why that could be a worry for you guys as you settle into who you are, that what if I don't know the answers to these questions and I need to go back to the beginning and I'm going to be stuck again having to figure out like everything from square one all over again. So I can definitely understand where that worry is coming from, and how like you guys just kind of settling into yourselves right now and having some of those questions pop up again, how that can like make you worry you're going to go back there. So we will definitely cover that in our extended. And what you guys hope for in the month of May is being able to answer these questions that are making you feel a little unsettled, and being able to answer them and kind of go and be on your way. Just like have quick answers, know that they mean something to you, and then be able to move on with the rest of your month. So again, we will definitely go into how you guys can settle in a little bit better in the extended. And we'll talk about, how you guys can get those quick answers that won't cause you to have to question if you're in the right direction and have to start everything from scratch. We'll go into how you guys can like answer those questions from where you are right now and move forward in a direction that is still productive for you. Again, without having to go backwards. And the reason why you guys hope that you can just get the answers and go, aside from feeling better and feeling more settled, one of the other reasons why you guys hope for that is because I think you guys have some things going on, some good things going on, and you really don't want to bog yourself down with questions like this that could be unnecessary. You have things that are going really well for you guys. You guys are in a really balanced place. You're feeling good. And you have opportunities, but your time seems to be a lot better managed. Like the balance in your time schedule seems to be a lot better. So it's like you're working on these opportunities that excite you and that are fun and that feel good. And they're not overwhelming and they don't take up all of your time, and you're still able to have fun and have a life. Which I think in April, that was a month when you guys, like your schedules were starting to slow down a little bit, I think. If that was for you guys. Yeah, I think it was for you guys, for Pisces. And you were encouraged to really enjoy that time because at some point business is going to take over and it's going to want all of your time and you're going to wish you had enjoyed that time. So I feel like in this month in May, things are not overwhelming. You're in a really good place, and that's why you want to be able to really settle in without too much trouble, without having to question yourself too much, so that you can enjoy the perfect balance that you guys have right now. Alright guys, so that's the guidance that I got for you guys for May of 2018. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you guys don't allow the unsettling questions that are coming up to help you be more settled. I hope you guys don't let them frustrate you too much, because you guys have a lot going on for you guys. You have some opportunities, you have really nice balance, and you're feeling good. And don't let the unsettling questions that are coming up to settle you frustrate you and dictate your month. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the summary portion of this video where I just go over the highlights. So there isn't going to be any new information that I'm going to be presenting here on out. So if you watched up until this point, thank you guys very much. And I will catch you guys in the extended version. And if I don't catch you guys there, I will catch you guys in my next YouTube video. Hey Pisces, this is where we begin the summary portion of this video for anybody who just needed the information on the go. So basically, how to summarize May. So basically, in May of 2018, you guys are feeling pretty good. I think especially the first week, especially the first half of the first week, you guys are feeling really good. And I think this is a continuation from April. And Yeah, so you guys have been feeling really good, and then now it's time for you guys to settle down and come into the core of who you are. Settling down doesn't mean being less happy, it just means being more solid in who you are. Now, because you're making this transition of being more solid in who you are, you're still settling in. And when you're still settling in, there are going to be some questions that come up that make you question yourself a little bit in your direction, but they're very small questions. They're not meant to throw you off track. They're just there to help you settle in more into who you are. So that's a good thing. But I think that some of you guys are going to worry that these questions, like some of these questions are going to worry you guys as you settle in, and you guys are going to start to worry that you have to start over from square one, and that these questions aren't just little minor questions where you're like, who am I? How do I fit into this? You may worry that you're starting from square one and you have to start all over and really question everything that you're doing from the very beginning, big picture, every angle. And some of those questions might be things like, if it's business related, like, who is my customer? What pain points do they have? What direction do I want to go in? What business do I want to do? And yeah, like basically all those questions that you tend to ask at the very beginning of a business. And if it's personal, then it's the same thing, like, who am I, and is this really what I want from life, and all of that. And so I think you guys worry that these little questions that are helping you settle in, like the final pieces moving in, you guys worry that it's actually you guys having to start over from scratch and figure out who you are entirely. I don't think it's that, but if you guys are worried about that, then we will cover that in the extended portion. How you guys can handle those questions so that you aren't having to go back to square one, because I don't really think that you guys need to go back to square one. And then one of the things that you guys are looking forward to or hoping for in May is that as you guys have these questions where you guys are settling in, those same questions, you guys are hoping that you can just answer them and move on with your life and go on. And the reason for that is because you guys have some really good opportunities that you're already working on, and your balance in life is really good. You're feeling good, you have these opportunities, and they're not taking up all of your time. So like your life is just perfect, and you don't want these questions to take you back to square one. You want to just move on, like answer them and move on with your life and your opportunities and how well things are going for you guys. So again, we will talk about that in the extended, how you guys can address those questions so that you are moving forward and not starting back at square one. So I think that was the guidance, all of the summary points for today. If you guys are interested in that extended, I will see you in that video. If not, I will see you in my next video on YouTube.